Shavua Tov. And it's not always what it looks like. That means that 9 o'clock turns out to be 9:05 because all of a sudden, as usual, something doesn't work. If it doesn't matter if it's a half an hour early, if it's 15 minutes earlier, it makes no difference. There is always at the beginning a glitch. Why is there always a glitch? Because when you have information and when you want to do something that is really important to you, to others, it doesn't make any difference. But then something has to come in to make it difficult, so you appreciate it even more when it actually does work. So every time this works, it's always like a miracle, and it's always like a big deal, and I always feel so blessed to be able to do this. I want to start off with a couple of thoughts because I'm very, very disturbed about a lot of things that are happening, things in my life that are showing themselves to be a reality that I never in my life expected. And this is something that we need to look at. The second thing is that we're in Rosh Chodesh Tammuz. Tammuz is a very, very, very difficult month and leads into TESHUVA Av, into the 9th day of Av, the saddest day of Jewish history. But I think the most important thing is to look at what is Torah talking about in these days that we are suffering and we are looking at the world again as though 70 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, didn't happen. What is the most serious of all conversations that are facing the Jewish people again today, as it did before, as it has throughout history? What is it that the Jewish people are suffering again? I read an article today that a friend of mine sent me, and we're talking about Kristallnacht. We're talking about the destruction of a Jewish infrastructure in the world, in Europe, in America. In America, it's impossible to believe in America. But what is really going on is not America, and is not Europe, and is not, quote unquote, the world. It's us. Everything revolves around Torah. Everything revolves around where are the Jewish people in Torah at a particular time when things in the world are showing themselves. I think I want to start with the Rebbe. The 3rd of Tammuz, which is in 2 days, is the Yotzeit, the reoccurring of the Rebbe's leaving this world. I follow the Rebbe. I follow the Rebbe. And the reason I follow the Rebbe is because I have enormous, enormous respect for his teaching, his learning, the way he handled and the way he loved and the way he cared for every human being. The Rebbe is not just a Jewish symbol, or was not just a Jewish symbol. The Rebbe was a symbol for education. He was a symbol for brotherly love. He was a symbol for not compromising on Yiddishkeit. He was a symbol of giving. He was a symbol of caring. He was a symbol of something extraordinary that wasn't really extraordinary because it's Yiddishkeit. You understand? To me, he was the essence of what a Jew should be. How a Jew should be loving and caring for others, and how he should be part of the world, remaining who he is. Okay, people came to the Rebbe from all over the world. He spoke to all of them. He took them all in. He embraced everyone. He spoke and gave of himself to everyone. As much as he gave of himself to his Hasidim, obviously, okay, to his folk, obviously, but what was so extraordinary about him was that he was a neshama, he was a soul that was available, okay, that you could build on. So let me tell you how I came to the Rebbe. I lived in Kiev. I had just gone through a horrific divorce in Budapest. I was very, very broken. And I was not religious. I was very connected to Hashem always, but I wasn't religious. I wasn't observant, I should say. So many, many things happened. I traveled a lot. I came back from a trip from Kiev to Mexico where I was teaching. I stopped in New York. I stopped in New York on the day that my mother was operated on and had, Aleh Shalom, a triple bypass. And my daughter, Aleh Shalom, told me, your mother was taken to the hospital. Today I took my suitcase. I went straight to Florida to take care of my mother. And then I needed to go back to Kiev. And then I was needed back in America, and I went to the Rav in Kiev at the time, and we had begun projects and working together and making a film together and doing all kinds of things. And I said to him that I had to leave, that I had to take care of my mother. And he pulled out his drawer. He pulled out a picture, and he said to me, take this picture, and this Rebbe is going to lead your life. I didn't even have the minimum idea of what this is, a Rebbe. I certainly didn't take a very close look. I opened up my wallet, put in the picture, and I said, thank you very much, and all the best, and I walked out. No problem. Came back to Florida. Many things happened. I began teaching, stayed in Florida because took care of my mother. After my mother got better, I wanted to go back to Kiev, and then I got a phone call that my daughter was in stage 4 Hodgkin's, and of course I didn't go back. I lost absolutely everything, and I stayed in Florida to take care of my daughter and to start back again with nothing. But that's okay. Everything is okay. And my first Chabad student, Rabbi Shayamar, came to see me after my first book came out, and he basically was my first Chabad religious, rabbinical student who really opened up all the doors at that point. I was very difficult times, extremely difficult times, emotionally, physically, extreme. In either case, at some point, 3, 4 months, 5 months after we began working together, he invited me for Rosh Hashanah to his house. I opened the door and I see this gigantic portrait as I'm walking through the door, and I said, who is this? And is this your father? And he said, Miriam, this is the Lubavitcher Rebbe. I said, who is that? And he said, what, you don't know? I said, well, this is very strange because I have a picture of this Rebbe in my wallet since 1995. And we're talking about, at this point, 1997. He said, show me the picture. I open up my wallet, I take out the picture, I show him the picture, and it's the Rebbe. At that point, you know, I'm made this way. My head just sort of opens up, and I said, well, a Rav in Kiev gave me this picture. And he said, who is the Rav? I said, the Rav is Rabbi Blech. He said, but he's not a Lubavitcher. Why did he give you this picture? I said, I have no clue. He said that this is going to be the Rebbe that is going to lead my life. So if he said that, and you're my first religious student, and I'm carrying his picture in my wallet, then he must be the Rebbe who is leading my life, and so it's time you should come to my house and you should make my house kosher, and I will now become a follower of the Rebbe. That's how it began. This is the story. This is the beginning of how it began. Later I moved to Crown Heights. Later I became a speaker for Chabad, and I spoke at convention, and many things, many experiences, wonderful, wonderful friends in Crown Heights, and a great love for the Rebbe, whom I never knew, but who obviously put his finger on me, because otherwise there is no reason for any of this story. What happens during the time that a person grows? Okay, I saw many things in the last years, traveling all over the world, meeting many Chabad rabbis, Chabad houses, listening to shiurim, reading commentaries, watching a world turn around and seeing that a person like the Rebbe, a human being, a tzaddik, okay, can put his neshama into each and every one of his chassidim. And the minute he turns his back, red becomes green, and green becomes yellow, and yellow becomes black. Talking about the Zohar says, Korach, which is our parsha of this week, Korach, the son of Yitzchak, the son of Kehat, the son of Levi, he who makes the right left and the left right, as it were, lays waste to the world. Now Aaron represented the right and the Levites the left, and Korach sought to make the right and the left change places, and therefore he was punished. Further, the evil tongue was also found in him, and for that also he was punished. Rav Yehuda said, the left should always be embraced in the right. Korach sought to change the order, fixed both above and below, and therefore he was punished from above and from below. And what does this mean? This means that what needs to be right needs to remain right, and what needs to be left needs to remain left. And there isn't the possibility of turning around and changing things, because that's what's more comfortable for you, or that's what is more, that makes you more money, that brings you more power, that is more pleasurable, that brings you more people listening to your shiurim, that brings you more people that come to your festivities and bring you money. Come on. What are we talking about? Okay, I have seen, and I have been, and I have experienced the total opposite of everything the Rebbe stands for. Calling itself, of course, by the name. I don't buy that. I don't accept that. And I will not support that. But I will remain the Hasidah of the Rebbe. And that is who is represented in my learning, in my thinking, whom I trust to bring me commentary, Torah, in the real way, instead of bringing it to me in a watered down way, which brings in more material, let's say it that way, instead of more truth. Truth is not an easy thing. It's a big thing. When I see women, okay, Chabad women, who are supposed to be tznius, modest, singing and carrying on like lunatics, okay, and thinking that that is the way to go right now because it's Geula time, because it's the time of redemption, okay, I have no view of this at all. To me, that is Korach. Left, right, right, left, whatever it is, Hashem doesn't like it. Hashem gave laws and He gave regulations for people, for Yidden, for us, for every one of us, to go for it in the right way. And when He says, don't put yourself out there and don't do the things that the Goyim do, then you don't do that. You want to be cool, okay, you can be cool, but you can also be tznius, and you can also be kosher, and you can also keep Shabbos, and you can do anything and everything that Torah allows, and do TESHUVA at the same time, and do KIRUV at the same time, and remain who you are. And people will respect you for who you are. You know why? Because you're honest, and you're truthful, and you totally and completely believe in what you live. Live who you are, live what you believe. The Spies, last week's Torah portion, okay, Shlachacha, Go to check out the land. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses sends them. Take a look. Take a look. Means take a look. Okay, so what did they do? What did they do? They took a look, they saw, they brought back fruit. They basically told the truth 100% of what they saw in Canaan. They saw giants. They felt like ants. They saw grapefruit. They brought back pomegranates. They brought back figs. They brought back grapes. So what was the problem here? Only one. Don't tell me that all is what it is, but we can't do this, we can't go against them because they're much greater than us and they're much more powerful than us. When Hashem says, go do and I will be with you. In every single moment of our life, no matter how difficult it may be for us personally, materially, psychologically, emotionally, you take it any way you want. We're definitely human beings and we definitely feel and we definitely suffer, and all of this is totally human. Then comes another moment, and that moment says, Hashem is with me. Hashem puts me and gives me and does for me and leads me and guides me and supports me and gives me life every day. Why do I not put my faith there? That's the power. Where do I come off being a spy and saying, we can't go against them, they're much greater than we are. If Hashem says you go, you go. Where is your trust? Where is your belief? Where is emunah? Where is Torah? It's difficult for us as human beings to live in a world where Torah is nistar, is hidden. But it's not. It's completely galui, it's completely open, it's completely visible, it's completely with us. The spies, what are we living? What is happening around us? The world is falling apart. Everything that we've built over the last 50, 60, 70 years since the Holocaust, rebuilt, remade, re-pristined. Okay? Where is it? What happened to it? Overnight, businesses are going, people are leaving, houses are being sold, robbed, broken into. What is going on? Everything is written. The rebellion of Korach is the rebellion of the Jewish people in this world today. Don't want to know Torah. Don't want to know who you really are. Don't want to be who you really are. But you know what? The world is not going to let you forget who you are. I live in Reggio Calabria. My mission is here. For the time that Hashem decides that I need to be here. Somebody else's mission is in America. Somebody else's mission is in South America. Jews don't live haphazardly in the world. Every Jewish neshama has a tafkid, has a mission. Not everybody's mission is the same, and not everybody's way in life is the same, but Torah is the same for all of us. Hashem is the same for all of us. Our enemies are our enemies, were our enemies, will always be our enemies, and Hashem said so. And when Hashem said, destroy Amalek, because in every generation he'll be after you, okay, he knew then, he told us then, we didn't do it then, and in every generation it is exactly Amalek, and he comes around. Very, very interesting. There are two characters in the parsha of Korach. They're thatn and Aviram. And thatn and Aviram were troublemakers for Moshe Rabbeinu from day one. So when Moses was forced to flee for his life after he killed an Egyptian overseer, it was thatn and Aviram who went and told the Pharaoh about him. It was thatn and Aviram when there were problems with the man. They were the ones who decided to keep the man when Hashem told them directly, do not keep the man. You can keep the man for one day, and then whatever is no good, you can't take more than what you need. We know the story. And thatn and Aviram were the instigators, okay, the instigators in many, many instances. And in this particular parsha, again, they're there to put fire underneath Korach. Now, Korach is an interesting personality because Korach really wanted to serve Hashem. He really wanted to serve Hashem, and because he wanted to serve Hashem, he went about it the wrong way. Instead of supporting Moshe Rabbeinu, and instead of supporting and being and maybe even waiting his turn, he did just the opposite. And this is where the big problem comes in. You know, history has shown and proven that when there are severe problems in the world, somewhere down the line there is always a Jew who is completely non-Jewish, who is completely against everything, who only wants to be part of the other side, who forgets and who will not show and who will not be who he is. And in the end, it turns out that he is who he is, remains who he is, and gets judged not only by Hashem, that's obvious, but by the world. How many Jews in the concentration camps were overseers, and how many snitched, and how many sold the lives of others, of their brothers? Why is that? Why is that? That's because the book that gives you a way of living, that shows you a way of life, that gives you a blueprint to live by, is just exactly what is behind the nasty, horror, anti-brotherly love that you show to your own. When a Jew refuses to be who he is, his soul burns. When he comes before judgment, don't even ask. But Hashem tells you in every parsha, practically in every parsha, he tells you, if you don't do this, and this, I will cut off your soul. Now, cutting off your soul means, in very, very, very broad terms, I will cut off your soul. That means you are gone. Where is the Jewish people? Okay, where is the Jewish people? What are we talking about? What am I saying? Hashem promises our patriarchs that he's going to make our people as numerous as the stars in the sky and the sands of the sea. Where is this people? Where is this people? What happens to them? Where are they? What happened? Where is Hashem's promise? Wrong question. Where is our promise? Na'aseh v'nishma. We will do and we will hear. Where is the unity? Where is the unity? that we had when we stood together at Sinai. It's our story. We're writing it. Hashem gave us the blueprint. The story is written by us. You don't fulfill Shabbos. You don't keep Shabbos. You don't keep Shabbos. You don't keep Shabbos. You don't keep the holidays. You don't keep Shabbos. You don't keep the holidays. Year after year after year after year. But never think about tshuva. Never think about returning. Never think about the fact that your neshama is suffering. What is the truth? The truth is, you have everything. You have the power of tshuva. You have the possibility of returning any moment of every day. You can decide. Hashem gives us free choice. So every moment that you don't decide to keep Shabbat, and every moment that you don't decide to be kosher, and every moment that you don't decide to live your Yiddishkeit, is the moment that you don't do tshuva, you don't return. And that's a moment that you have lost. Ask me, because I come from there. I've done and I'm doing my itsy bitsy little nothing to make up for years that I could have, I should have, and I didn't, because it was not convenient. And now I look at my life day in and day out, and I say, Hashem, give me back the years that I should have been serving you, and I didn't do it because it wasn't convenient. It wasn't convenient. So here is the combination of the Spies and Korach. And here is the miracle, again, of the staffs. Very easy to figure things out. Hashem makes things happen in a very natural, supernatural way for us, okay? Okay, everybody bring a rod. All of them get put into the sanctuary. And who needs to be high priest? We'll know. It'll be written. Written are the names on every staff. And in the morning, we will know. And in the morning, there are flowering, completely grown fruit of almonds on the name Aaron. You know, we can look at this and we can say, wow, what a great story that is. Manna from heaven. What a great story that is. the whole earth opening up, and 250 horrors that went after Moshe Rabbeinu, the greatest, the most humble, the most extraordinary, face-to-face, mouth-to-mouth servant of Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, challenge, look to destroy him. Earth opens up, swallows them all up. What a story. Story? Take a look at what's happening in the world. Take a look at all of the disasters. Nobody in this gorgeous, gigantic world in the media turns around and says, look at what God is showing the world. Corona is not doing it. I thought that everybody was going to get it. Everybody was going to understand it. But everybody is not only not understanding it, but refusing to look at it as exactly what it is. What is it? What is it? It's another of Hashem's extraordinary natural signs to us to make us wake up. But it comes from China, but it's New World Order. No, it comes from Hashem, and that's New World Order. And the only thing that is going to save us, and I'm talking about as a people, I'm talking about us as Hashem's children. I'm talking about Torah. I'm talking about the height and the giantness of what our responsibility is to the world, because it is our responsibility to be the moral lamplighters of the world. That's the job we have. And whether or not you do that, writing articles or giving tzedakah, okay? Rav Mizrahi gave out a video. It's on my international page. All right, you're talking about 10%. Do it. Do it. If you don't do it, you can't ask Hashem for anything. Because Hashem said, and I just learned this in his shiur, test me on that. Don't test me on anything else, but test me on that. And when you give tzedakah and you help others, you will receive. Ad bli dai. I have stories that I can tell you of the last number of months, okay? And they're amazing, amazing things. And whether or not, I want you to know, so you know where I stand. Whether or not I win or I lose, I know that I am the winner. Why? Because every day that Hashem gives me, that I have the opportunity to do my work and to do His work and to be who I am and to live the way I do and to lamplight my existence with His light, I know that it's Baruch Hashem okay, and that I'm doing the right thing. And when I go to sleep and before I go to sleep at night, and I pray and I say, Hashem, I beg you for another day to be your servant and to do it right. I would never compromise. I would never compromise on what I believe, and I would never take anything that Torah dictates and that I know I know a drop. Okay, we know we're not, but whatever it is needs to come, needs to be shared, needs to be given, needs to be put out, needs to be elaborated, to be available to others who never don't have. Okay? But every single day is a day of gratitude, of saying no matter what, Hashem, thank you for giving me another day. And whatever it is that you give me on that day, Gam zu letovah, also this is for the good. Also this is for the good. And if it breaks you into pieces and it breaks your heart and it rips open your neshama, Gam zu letovah, also this is for the good. Find your way back. Find your way back to truth, to honesty, to what the Rebbe stood for, not the garbage that is being put out there by people who are selling sociology, psychology, nonsense, indescribable stuff that the Rebbe would never in a million years allow. Where is the truth? But where is the truth in everything that we do? There is only one truth. That one truth is Torah. And that truth is available every moment of your life when you begin TESHUVA. TESHUVA with an open heart. TESHUVA with your intention and your kavanah in the right place. Begging forgiveness for the things that you've done. Understanding and being truthful with yourself and accepting responsibility and saying, Aguf palach v'neshama lach. My body and my soul are yours. And when you say, my body and my soul are yours, and you mean it, Gamzu etova. Also this is for the good. Please, light a candle for the neshama of the Rebbe, Gimmel Tammuz. And remember, a tzaddik is never, ever away. He's always, always with us. Always. Very, very, very powerful thing to know that tzaddikim are more powerful when they're not here than when they're here. So think about that. Light a candle and know that Hashem is always, always with and protecting you, all of us. Am Yisrael Chai. The people of Israel live. Amen. Amen.